All right, welcome everyone to the YakShaver sprint review for sprint 40. We are going to put this video up on the YakShaver channel when we're done. Let's get into it. So we had two sprint goals. There was a bug stopping GitHub issues from being created, which has been fixed. So it's feeling much more stable now. A few bugs have been fixed actually. So it's feeling now like it works pretty consistently. And multi-tenancy, we wanted to get the whole back end of that done. Not quite there, but pretty close. We'll show you how close pretty soon. So it was a full-time sprint for 3 guys and a half-time for Rick. Here's the work we got into. So we had a problem where some users were not being fetched. Lewis, you said this was because they were new. It was Eddie, wasn't it? And he hadn't set up some fields in his dynamics yet.
He hadn't set up his public profile. So
yeah, so we use the public profile field to tell whether someone is a real person or a service account. So I believe, Lewis, you found a different solution for that. It was whether they had a GitHub profile or not, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's just checking both of them because there's some users with a public profile but no GitHub, like Louis. So we had to include a mix of both.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and what's the plan longer term for non-SSW clients who may not be using GitHub or public profiles?
So we're planning on moving it into something like using a graph because we're using that part for most of the app anyways. So we don't want tenants to be forced to use dynamics for their users.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, cool. So Adam, with the regards to the stability of the application and whether it's up or not, they've added a lot more breadth to the application insights so that it should more reliably give us stats on availability. So before it was only looking at sort of one slice of it to say whether that was available or not, and the system would go down, but we wouldn't be able to see it in the availability. That should be solved now.
Can I ask, that's awesome. Have you actually turned off a service and seen that it does a negative spike on your availability?
Yeah, good question. Lewis?
We haven't. I've done it only locally. So
yeah, you need to do some things to kill different things to see what happens.
Okay.
And check that you see those spikes occur.
Cool, good idea. All right. We were looking at setting up SEQ, which I believe was an App Insights alternative, but they've decided instead to go with Application Insights with what's it called again? Some extra option.
Open telemetry.
Open telemetry, that's the one. So that hasn't been done, but the PBI has been created to do that now.
Okay. Have you considered Raygun? Not the kangaroo dancer, the product.
No. So they looked at the rule and then they spoke to the people who wrote the rule and they got the up-to-date information to say, all right, best practice is this as of now.
Right. Okay. Have you considered a product called Honeycomb? Okay.
No, I
think we should hold that for a sprint, so we can do a little bit more talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Does Honeycomb on the rule? Maybe the rule needs an update.
No, the rule doesn't mention any of those. So the rule was written by. Well, who did you guys talk to? JK, right? Who's the author of the rule?
Yeah, JK.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, let's have a call with JK, Wixie, me, and Callum, and I'll just talk about the other ones.
All right, Rick, can you write that one down?
YakShaver.
Okay. Yes.
Wait, well, we can YakShaver. Do we want to? So do you want to set up? You want to kind of redo this to make sure that application insights with open telemetry is the way to go.
Yes, that's right. And I would, if you YakShaver, I would open the rule first.
So.
Would that be another thing that YakShaver does is set up a meeting and then it looks at everyone's calendar to find the next available spot? Creates a meeting.
I mean, that's a thing that you'd want an AI assistant to do. I'm not sure it's a YakShaver thing, unless you wanted to expand YakShaver to be a much broader product.
Does not seem.
Well, what do you say? Set up a meeting with JK to discuss blah, blah, blah with the YakShaver team and then do that.
Yes,
Give me
could.
one second while I YakShave this. Recording 3, 2, 1. All right, I have a new PBI for YakShaver. I would like, please, for the YakShaver team to have a meeting with Adam and Matt Wicks, to check whether application insights with OpenTelemetry is the best option moving forward, or if we go with Raygun or Honeycomb or potentially another different option. Part of the acceptance criteria for this should be updating the rule, because at the moment, as per JK's advice, application insights with OpenTelemetry is the current best option and is what is documented on our rules at the moment.
Can you also include you just stopped.
I did, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
Knowing how many events occur actually is really important because it affects how much these services cost.
Right, okay.
So without that information, it's hard to make a good choice.
Okay, cool.
Update it after the fact.
Yep. All right. Lewis, can you remember that and update it once the PBI is created?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. So this GitHub issue, not created issue, that was a big deal, and has now been solved, which is great because that was a bugger. Do you remember what was causing that, Stephen?
It caused by a historical issue. When YakShaver was created, we didn't think of going multi-tenancy. And since recently we switched to multi-tenancy, this issue come back. So yeah, and we solved it, fix it.
Okay, next one was the client portal. This is Tom. So we can configure GitHub integrations. So this allows clients on their own tenant to talk to their own GitHub, which is great. He's working on the Azure DevOps one next. There was a bug around memory usage issues because the video size can only be 25 megs. So now there's a check to see if it's too big before it does it. So it won't do it if it doesn't need to, which is a big saver on everything. And that's everything that we've done. So code coverage went down a little bit. One deployment. This is what this looks like now. So we did have full availability, and theoretically that now covers all parts of the application. We've got a fair few new people on the leaderboard, which is great. Josh is apparently very excited and is teaching other people to use it, which is fun. Pretty good focus this sprint, pretty much only working on the main epic.
Can I ask, is the second epic there? Do you feel it's accurate? There's like you've done 90% of all the internal feedback?
For MVP items. So every time an item comes in, we work out whether it's MVP or not.
Well, if that's true, I'm very impressed.
Well, actually, it was true. There's probably lots more that's coming since then that we haven't allocated to an epic.
Okay.
But from what we decided was the MVP, when we were working it out, we've done 40 and 44.
Right. Okay.
Which is pretty good. Yeah, I think it's like definitely usable.
Yeah. Yuli, I might ask you to make a second one called, improvements, round 2 or something.
This one?
So, oh, okay. That's kind of, the next round after, Maybe put improvements #1 and improvements #2 on those. I didn't say that.
But I think we could just keep, like, if you come up with stuff that you think is now MVP, we just update what the MVP is, right? There's no such thing as a second MVP.
No, it's not a second MVP. It's just improvements #1 and #2.
Oh yeah,
one is called MVP and one,
we could do it. I mean, like, for instance, things like making it fully agentic. That's a big one. But
yes, but I think that would be further down the list again, wouldn't it?
No, that would be what I'd do next.
Right.
Like, that's going to make it much more powerful. Obviously, after tenant and client, like once it's usable by clients, I'd be making it fully agentic. There's a fair bit of, just so you know my logic for that, there's a fair bit of technical debt that we don't need to address because it will just have disappeared by the time we go fully agentic. Okay, moving on to planning, if I may. So we're still very much focused on multi-tenancy to trying to get it to the point that clients can use it. So if you look at the sprint plan here, we need to get this the DevOps figured out. This is all quite technical stuff. So actually, Rick, you want to help me out with what these are for again?
Okay, so first one, we need to set up the CI/CD pipeline, which will be provision each database for each tenant. And then we will need to dynamic select. So the tenants will set up their GitHub integrations. Then our app need to select the correct, depends on the tenant, we need to select the correct GitHub service to use. So that's the second PBI. And then Tom is working on the integration for Azure DevOps.
Rick, do you think it's you gave a video a fair while ago about how you're doing multi-tenancy, which didn't have much in it, like you didn't have a rule or anything. Do you think it's time to record a second one so we can kind of see what you're doing? Because I'm worried about giving you feedback a long way down the track, which requires a lot of rework when all I knew is each person was getting a separate database. And there's obviously a lot more detail than that.
Yes, I can make a new video for it.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So that kind of covers everything. This switching user source to Microsoft Graph will make it more usable by non-SSW clients because we're using our specific fields, custom fields in our Dynamics users, which most clients wouldn't have. So that's good too. So that's it, guys. I will put this up on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Stop recording.